How's it going, you guys, and welcome to your morning cup. Now the earth just went boom boom again with the latest eruption in Iceland. Now considering the last time this volcano erupted was upwards of 800 years ago, we understand that the volcano nearest to the capital city of Iceland, Reykjavik, erupted last night. Well, the fissure that was created from said eruption was upwards of 500 to 700 meters long, and what we understand is that a spewing lava lake was, well, very much evident. Now people live less than 8 kilometers from this volcano, and people could literally look out of their window and see the red being lit up in the night sky because of the, well, lava lake that's now evident and, well, is now exposed to this sheer atmosphere. What we understand is that this is by no means something that happened naturally, considering the fact that Iceland is sitting on a tectonic plate barrier wherein two tectonic plates are moving in opposite directions. It makes sense that it is the epicenter for numerous earthquakes. But in the past 3 weeks alone, Iceland experienced upwards of 40,000 earthquakes. Yeah, you didn't hear me wrong, I said 40,000. 40,000 earthquakes in 3 weeks seems like a horror movie, the likes of which we haven't seen before, because people believe that that's too much horror and too much science fiction. 40,000 earthquakes in a span of 3 weeks doesn't make sense. Well, it turns out that it actually does make sense, because it's actually very much real. That is actually very much existent, and it has been existent since, well, the conception of meteorological departments, to put it lightly. What we also have seen is that throughout the entire globe there has been a significant rise in seismic activity. Now seismic activity, the likes that has triggered tsunamis, the likes that has triggered mass evacuations from people that are living near volcanoes, as well as has triggered numerous volcanic eruptions as well. Now when I say this, I'm looking at Indonesia, I'm looking at Guatemala, and these two nations, separate however they might be, Guatemala faced 3 volcanoes erupting at the same time because of seismic activity. Indonesia faced a volcanic eruption because of seismic activity. Nations like Australia and New Zealand were faced with the tsunami warning because of a rise in seismic activity. So what we understand is the fact that 2021, by no speculation, is a slow seismic year. Although we experience numerous aspects of earthquakes every single year, and they might not be in the news as much as they should be, considering the fact that they are a very real threat to us. But the scale at which they are being ramped up today is by no means something that we should ignore. You see, seismic activity can be an indicator for what is to come, and, well, people fear about the big one coming. Considering that there are upwards of 7 supervolcanoes on this earth, what we understand is that if any one of these 7 supervolcanoes erupts, we are going to be looking at things that are a little more iffy, alright? They're known as continent killers for a reason, and it's not about the sheer impact that they will have when they erupt. When we look at a volcano, we understand that it is a tapering mountain, and on top of which ash spews out, and then it erupts and lava comes out. Well, what if I told you that a supervolcano is so powerful that when it erupts, the entire tapered mountain blows up, and what is the base of that mountain turns into a lava lake? So you can understand the sheer scale of things when we're talking about an entire mountain erupting. But when we're talking about continent killers, it's more like it's going to affect the rest of the world as well, not just the continent that it erupts in. You see, even if it's an isolated volcano that's in the middle of the ocean or on a tiny island, what we understand is the fact that the sheer atmospheric sud that these volcanoes are going to be throwing into the atmosphere, throwing into the stratosphere, is going to make a huge difference, and that is exactly the point. You see, temperature regulations is already going haywire considering the sheer global warming, and if volcanoes like this keep erupting, we are going to be looking at, well, doubling of that momentum. We're going to be looking at global temperature rises that are going to be even quicker than anticipated. We're going to be looking at sea level rises even quicker than anticipated, because glaciers and ice caps are going to start melting faster than we anticipated. It's all a chain, it's all a cycle that is going to keep replenishing itself. And if we don't do something to at least take out a few ingredients from the equation that have been us putting them in, we are going to be looking at things that are going to be scaled up rather quickly. What we also understand is the fact that these volcanic eruptions by no means are standalone. You see, there is something known as the Pacific Ring of Fire, and if the Pacific Ring of Fire erupts, it's going to erupt all at the same time. That is quite scary to even contemplate, but is facts nevertheless. What we also understand is that the Pacific Ring of Fire is not a standalone thing. There are numerous other chains of volcanoes that are evidently present across the globe, and a chain reaction event that can trigger all of these volcanoes to erupt at the same time is not far-fetched. Seismic activity being ramped up is a direct indication of volcanic activity about to be ramped up as well. And what this indicates is the fact that meteorological departments as well as geological departments need to intertwine their relationship, need to intertwine their work angles, and try to keep us ahead of the curve, try to keep us aware of the fact that if any of this thing actually happens, how much reaction time do we have? What are we supposed to do from our end that might actually benefit our civilization and our ability to tackle these natural disasters, if you will? You see, one of the only early warning systems that we have currently in place is a meteorological department, is a geological department. Every nation has one. Every continent has numerous. And this is exactly why they are existent. This is exactly why they are prevalent. This is exactly why it is a structure and a stream of science that garners a lot of respect. Because those are the people that are actually keeping you and me safe from the sheer blunt force of the earth itself. And that by no means is to be taken lightly, my friends. That being said, we understand that the earth is pissed off. It's spitting fire at us. It's not an isolated incident, but it's spitting fire at us nevertheless. So make sure that you keep well versed into whatever the news cycle tells you about volcanic eruptions. And if you want to keep updated about the bigger picture of things, stay tuned to this space and we'll do the best that we can do to make sure that you're updated about whatever the world has to offer. If it's rise in seismic activities, if it's numerous more tsunami warnings, or if it's volcanic eruptions that might just change the essence of our planet itself. This has been your morning cup. See you soon.